We went over this whole website. It's called 36hourslater.com. You guys can go check it out if you want to. It basically kind of like pretty much really breaks down a lot of what we could see as inconsistencies that's not only in the case against Tory Lanez that he was found guilty and convicted of, and then subsequently sentenced to 10 years. The entire process of how his conviction was gotten seems a little shady, okay? They point out inconsistencies between the statement of the victim. Hey, I got cut by glass. Now I got shot. Hey, I never fucked him. Yeah, we did fuck. Like the statements of not only the victim changed, but even the initial investigation by the police, they didn't believe it was a gunshot wound. Apparently, the first doctor in the ER didn't believe it either. Subsequently, and I'm keep saying I'm not one of the deniers that she got shot. I do believe she got injured as a result of a bullet. Did the bullet go in her foot? I don't think so. Or like a whole bullet? No, I think a shrapnel. So it shot near her and something splintered. Whatever. Doesn't matter. She could still claim she got shot. We saw new footage. This is her in the hospital. We saw even a video or a slight footage. By the way, there's a picture of her in the ambulance. Remember, this was around quarantine time. That's why she has on a mask. We see Kelsey Harris, she has her feet right here. Her feet looks a little, I don't know if this is blood or it looks like it's sliced up almost, okay? Keep in mind, according to one of the witnesses, Sean Kelly, what he said that night, he said he seen a woman hop out around. She was in the front. She came to the passenger side, opened the door, and looked like she was trying to beat on the girl, and the girl was trying to kick her to get her off. We have to imagine that was Meg trying to beat on Kelsey. Kelsey was trying to kick her to get off, okay? There's a lot of other, body cam footages and inconsistencies that, even the court case, you could see people's statements kind of just, again, pretty much showing that this is not really a obvious situation. Be like, nigga, you did it. It's, if anything, it has a bunch of holes in all the stories over time. And even in the court case, looks like there should be reasonable doubt. So the conviction is confusing. All right. Again, obviously, this is part of Tory's, plan and obviously his current movement to try to get free. We also seen a change.org petition, but he's doing all these things. Hopefully that, he could further try to assure the public that, yo, bruv, I ain't shoot this chick. This chick is just, capping. Okay, so now they also have screenshots of messages where supposedly it was altered, where one message is actually deleted in a thing that they supposedly use in court. It's very interesting, okay? Let me see. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. We got body cam. We even have a short video of Tory supposedly, not even supposedly, he's in the interrogation room. All that culminated in a guilty verdict, but he is fighting still for his freedom. Now, what happened was that Tory Lanez's lawyer has now responded. Not Tory Lanez's lawyer. I mean, the lawyer that is representing the interest of Roc Nation and also Meg the Stallion. Now, the reason why I put Roc Nation's name in it is because we know this lawyer because of his association with Roc Nation. His name is Alex Spiro. Alex Spiro did offer up a statement, and his statement says Tory's legal team can't keep a story straight. Last week, they argued that Kelsey Harris shot Meg. Now they're claiming that Meg only stepped on glass. They continue to rehash old evidence from trial and repackage that new information to desperately sway public opinion. There was no new evidence displayed today. Simply a sad attempt from Tory's team to copy our presentation format to peddle misinformation. It's embarrassing that the Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna is integrating herself into the California criminal justice system for clickbait. Instead, she should be focused on serving her own constituents in Florida rather than chasing celebrities. Okay? Now, I believe as well, Alex Spiro did an interview, right? I believe he did an interview. Let me look it up. Alex Spiro, I believe he did an interview on Chris Cuomo's show. By the way, I'll give you my thoughts on what he said. He says Tory's team can't keep a story straight. I will agree that presentation that Tory's team put out on 36 Hours Later, it's not necessarily having a straight story. It's just trying to show you there's a million different ways that you could see doubt in this case, and if there was doubt, he should not be convicted. I don't think they're trying to argue the case. I don't think they're trying to tell you what happened. I think, if I do have any criticisms of Tory, I get it, he's a street nigga, whatever. One of my criticisms of him has been, you should have just told people what happened. This is a domestic violence situation or something of the sort. It involves women. Nobody's going to call you a snitch if you say, hey, this is what happened. I tried to stop somebody from shooting somebody else. The gun went off. That's it. You get what I'm saying? But not saying anything, and then they point the finger at you, I don't think you get any street points for that. So I do think Tory should have spoke up for himself. Now, here's the thing. Because Tory has never given a actual side to the story, whether you want to call it street or not, it allows people to then think what happened. So then you get the theories. And even when he was fighting the case, then it's like you're attacking the multiple things. Well, it's like, first of all, it's say somebody dies, but you can't find the body. The first thing a good lawyer is going to say, how do you know the person was dead? Right? They're not going to be like, oh, no, this guy just didn't do it. No. The first thing they're going to attack, how do you know the person's dead? So, of course, the first thing any good lawyer is going to say, how do you know she was shot? Now, I believe she was shot. And again, I keep saying, bullet hit the ground, shrapnel went through her foot. Okay? Because there's not a direct bullet wound at all. So, yes, it's not the job of the defense attorney to tell us what happened. It's his job to say, whatever the prosecutor claimed happened, there is a lot of holes in the story which don't make sense. Let him off, okay? Okay, so it's not about keeping a story straight. And again, if it was about keeping a story straight, we would just have to hear it from Tory himself, which he still ain't say shit, right? Last week, they continued to rehash old evidence. Yes, it was pretty much a lot of things that, it was old evidence. It was presented in the trial, okay? Or it was available at the time of trial, except for the new affidavits, I will say. Okay. Cool. It's a sad attempt from Tory's team to copy our presentation. No, I think this is a attempt from Tory's team to put together what's going to be called a pardon package. This is how you kind of get it done. You got to get the public to fuck with you. Like, by the way, they've been trying to do it for Joe Exotic. You got to get the public to believe that you're innocent, right? You got to get people to believe that this is a case that needs to be looked at. And I think he's done a good job with that, and I think that's why they're using these strategies, okay? Otherwise, he would just get lost in the system, whether you think he's convicted fairly or unfairly, because nobody would give it a second eye, all right? Okay, and the Anna Paulina person, I do think she clout chasing. I ain't gonna cap. All right, now, let's listen to Alex Spiro, and this is what he talked about. Wait, they're on Facebook with this shit? Let's see. How do I watch on Facebook? So the video isn't available anymore. What? Huh? How do I get to the video? Meg Thee Stallion's attorney. Okay. Megan Thee Stallion attorney. Overwhelming evidence. So Alex Spiro did take, oh my God, I can't find it nowhere. Alex Spiro did actually, this is bringing me to the same thing and saying it's not available. Okay. Is it here? Cool. Why is it not on the News Nation YouTube? But yeah, Alex Spiro not only did he write a statement, he also did get on Chris Cuomo's program to speak about this. So let's see if we could pull that up. Where are we? Okay. That's search Megan. No, it's not there. Maybe it was a Facebook exclusive? This came after, a lot of people, and I'll tell you about some of the growing support. I'm waiting for this ad. Hopefully this goes. Thank you guys for the donations. We are kicking on Kick today. Shout out to all the people. I know some people have been hitting me up, really worried about why I'm not streaming on the King Academics channel. I did say this week we are pushing for the growth of a new platform. The new platform is Kick. We've just gotten over there. They've been treating us pretty good. We got a good situation there. So I would love for you guys to make an account there. We are going to be back on King Academics probably in a day or two, okay? So if you're wondering why, we just kind of want to, we usually have about like 15, 16,000 people that's watching at all times. So we're just kind of trying to shuffle the audience a little bit to grow that platform. Then we'll get back to regular. You'll be able to watch wherever you want to watch, okay? All right. Cool. Let me play this. Come on.
He and Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, shoot. Here we go.
Reminder about the Tory Lanez story, right? He and Megan Thee Stallion are at a party together. They get into an argument. Reportedly, or not reportedly, Megan says Lanez got out and shot at her feet and hit her. Lanez was convicted, sentenced to 10 years in prison. Now, Tory's team says it didn't happen that way. It never happened that way. He was railroaded. Now, he did not testify in his own defense, but he does maintain his innocence. Now, the most interesting evidence is what has just come out, which was somebody saying, I witnessed it, and it was a female who fired the weapon. Listen to this.
You see the girl doing the shooting?
I see what appears to be the girl standing here and shooting into the car. That's what it looked like to me. But it was dark, and I'm above. So.
By the way, that is the voice of Sean Kelly.
But then the guy gets out again from the back.
Now, the guy testified, though. So why wasn't it enough for the jury? But it does corroborate.
He switches the story. So that's another thing. The jury actually weighted his story 2 years later on the stand more than they weighted the story the night of. Riddle me that as well.
What a bodyguard who did not, who wasn't part of the incident there, but was with Megan Thee Stallion's friend afterwards when she was going to court. And he says in an affidavit that he heard her say, I don't want to tell on myself, but that he believes he heard her say it was her. Now, it's not what Megan Thee Stallion said. It's not what that friend said at trial, and he was convicted. So what is the other side of the story? I want to bring in Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer, Alex Spiro. Alex, counsel, it's good to have you. Thank you for joining us. What do you make of this now very public campaign to say Tory Lanez was framed?
Yeah, Chris, I'm reluctant to give any attention or oxygen to this nonsense. It's gotten to the point where I felt I needed to clear this up. And given the history of domestic violence against women in this country and across the world, and given what's happening here, I think I have an obligation to Meg and others. The reality is he was convicted by a jury of his peers based on overwhelming evidence. The evidence in this case is basically as strong as it could possibly be. He was found at the scene with the firearm that shot her. The shell casings matched the gun. He confessed. She says he did it. The eyewitness says he did it. There was never any dispute or doubt in this case, which is why he was convicted so quickly. So the rest of this is nonsense, but, I deal with it in turn.
Okay, why is that clip so short? But this is after there's a lot of actual, rappers and celebrities. They're really vocal now about Tory and his innocence, and they want him to be free. For example, like I seen Lil TJ had messaged me about it. He said, "Yo, I think he watched the video." He said, he always be chatting, but like, yo, whatever. He's like, you be breaking shit down, and he basically. So I said, "What did you see? What clip did you see?" He said, "Yeah, I was watching some shit about Meg," and then I look up on the story. He posted some shit. I didn't ask him to do it because I could care either here or there. If he posts some shit, he just comes out publicly and supports Tory. It's like, I know some of y'all probably passionately believe Shorty, but that's the scary part. He says, Tory, I would have crashed out for real. Not gonna lie. Then he puts a laughing emoji, horse, and a cap. Anyway, the point is this. It just looks like rappers now, or just really entertainers, are becoming more comfortable feeling like they could support Tory Lanez. And, you know, despite what Alex Spiro said, you know, I actually disagree with him. And I don't know if I have to play that clip again, but I disagree with him that it was so open and shut. I mean, there's a lot of, like, factors that are a bit inconsistent with what I would necessarily be comfortable with saying, take 10 years away from this guy's life, right? There's multiple change statements. I don't think that's normal. It's multiple change statements from the victim, the witness. Everybody who Alex Spiro is talking about changed their statement at some point or another, and it's documented. So, again, do you call somebody a liar, or would you believe someone the last thing they said if the first thing they said was very different from the last thing? I don't know. But again, I'm just only here pointing out that I definitely disagree with Alex Spiro on that one particular thing. I'll play actually again what he said, and then we could kind of break that down. But yeah, you know, honestly, when you start seeing the big guns come out, and I'm talking about Alex Spiro because, as I said, that's their lawyer. They're starting to realize that this noise is getting louder and louder, and obviously they want to kind of quell it. Here we go.
Heard her say it was her. Now, it's not what Megan Thee Stallion said. It's not what that friend said at trial, and he was convicted. So, what is the other side of the story? I want to bring in Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer, Alex Spiro. Alex, counsel, it's good to have you. Thank you for joining us. What do you make of this now very public campaign to say Tory Lanez was framed?
Yeah, Chris, you know, I'm reluctant to give any attention or oxygen to this nonsense. It's gotten to the point where I felt I needed to clear this up. And given the history of domestic violence against women in this country and across the world, and given what's happening here, I think I have an obligation to Meg and others. The reality is he was convicted by a jury of his peers based on overwhelming.
Yeah, I think I should ask Alex Spiro to come on here. I don't know if I get too close to the, it might burn my hand. Like, I don't want to, like, sometimes I'll be like, I hope they don't know too much about me because I don't want the rock on my ass. Pause. Pause. That sounded crazy.
Evidence. The evidence in this case is basically as strong as it could possibly be.
I think that's false.
He was found at the scene with the firearm that shot her.
Okay. And I seen someone send in a donation about this. I'll try to see if I could, bring it up. Someone said, here we go. They said, if the gun was in Kelsey bags, I've always wondered how Tory got the gun so fast. The gun was shot by someone who knew exactly where it was. See, that's another thing, right? Supposedly the stylist, EJ, said, hey, I remember seeing something that looked like a gun when I was packing their bags. Okay? They can't prove that Tory brought that gun. That was never really proved in court that, oh, no, here's other pictures of Tory with that gun. Oh, no, Tory's always had that gun. So it appears that the gun was probably in the possession of the women. And the stylist actually seems to corroborate that. So I agree with you. How the hell would Tory just know? Now, granted, you could be like, oh, well, he knew that she always had a gun in the back. I don't know. Or somebody could be like, well, nah, he put his gun in there. I don't know.
The shell casings matched the gun.
Okay, yeah, I think that's true.
He confessed.
He didn't confess. Alex Spiro is a great lawyer, man. He says it so confidently that you're like, yeah, Tory did confess. Wait, no, he didn't. No, what the fuck? No, he didn't. Yo, he just tried to pull a fast one on us. Yo, he's just trying to pull a fast one on us, bro. He literally said it so confidently that I was like, yeah, he did confess. Whoa, no, he didn't. Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Chat, should I invite Alex Spiro here? I would love to have a conversation with him. The only thing is, I think if the conversation gets into any place beyond Tory, I think him and The Rock gonna try to get at me. Somebody said what? Because Tory Lanez always carried a gun. That's why. Well, is that his gun? Is that his gun? We don't know if that's his gun.
The gun, he confessed. No. She says he did it.
Yeah, well, at first she didn't say he did. He did it. She actually said, no one did it. I didn't get shot. Then she said, he shot me.
The eyewitness says he did it.
Well, the eyewitness also didn't say that at first. The eyewitness changed the story.
There was never any dispute or doubt in this case, which is what.
That's exactly what dispute and doubt is. Just changing your story up.
Why he was convicted so quickly. So the rest of this is nonsense, but, I deal with it in turn.
All right. So we will see. Anyway, Amber Rose did speak about this. Let's see what Amber Rose said. And again, I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of people are now speaking up. And I think the goal, I don't even think Tory's necessarily asking these people. I think people are looking at it like, yo, this was a huge case, one of the biggest cases in hip hop history, right? Shit, up there with the YSL case, and probably just falls below this Diddy case. And I think people are just like, yo, I knew of most of this evidence. I don't know if you guys knew of it. And that's why yesterday I told you, I said, yeah, it's not necessarily new evidence, but I'm wondering how you get a conviction with that evidence out there. Anyway, listen to Amber Rose.
Sir, TV personality, musical muse, Amber Rose, and now social justice advocate. Amber, thank you. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. What do you want people to know about why you are advocating for Tory Lanez?
I'm advocating for Tory Lanez because the evidence shows that he's innocent. And he deserves to be pardoned by Governor Gavin Newsom. He's 100% exonerated from the gun, and for that alone, he should be home with his family.
Well, the DNA showed that it could have been any of 4 people, but he sent the text apologizing, and Megan Thee Stallion and her friend Kelsey there that night said it.
Now here's the thing, and this is why I don't like when non-hip-hop outlets cover cases and stuff, and this is why we do as much as we do in trying to make sure we get every small detail, even in the Diddy case, because he's wrong. The DNA evidence does not show as one of 4 people. No, it's just 4 people in the car. Actually, the way how DNA evidence is actually broken down, right? When you analyze DNA evidence, it usually gives you, hey, listen, it will be 1 out of 1 million or 10 million or 100 million. So that's why you know it's him. Right? It's never be like, oh, yeah, it's going to be 1 of 4. He has a 25%. No. It's only 25% chance because it was only 4 people in the fucking car. You get what I'm saying? But the DNA did not suggest, I think, there's a, do I have the fucking document? I could probably pull it up. The DNA evidence that Tory, really the DA did the DNA evidence on the gun. It basically said it's just inconclusive. There was a few things wrong with it. They had incomplete DNA samples, right? And then in the DNA sample that they did have that they took from the gun, right? Because they couldn't find his fingerprints. Usually they'll try to figure out, they could also help prove possession by, if you don't, you guys know how a gun is. When you put the fucking magazine into the gun, they could get fingerprints from there. Tory's fingerprint isn't there, which suggests he never loaded the gun, which also suggests if you didn't load the gun, it's probably not your gun, right? If your fingerprints ain't on loading the cartridge or loading the magazine into the gun, that probably means it ain't your gun because you ain't loaded, right? Okay, so let's say even if it's the girl's gun, whatever. Okay, did he touch the gun? Did he hold the gun? Did he fire the gun? Now, he does have GSR on him, but Kelsey did too, right? Now, the DNA on the gun that they found All they said that because it wasn't complete DNA, they ran it against Tory, and they said it's not a direct match, and the results are actually inconclusive, right? Which means they can't rule him out, and they can't say it's him, all right? Later, Tory, which, definitely a grave mistake by his team, they did not get their own DNA specialist to look at it. Their own specialist looked at it later, and by the way, that's a big mistake. That's a cost-cut measure. Tory's rich as fuck. I think Tory's team took that to think, oh, they're telling us something that's going to help us. The prosecutor used inconclusive to their benefit. They were like, yeah, we don't have his DNA on there, but the reports say we can't rule him out either. So he could have touched it. Tory should have hired his own expert to do a qualitative analyzation of the gun, which he did later in the appellate process. And they said, oh, actually, in us analyzing this DNA data, we could rule Tory out. So his DNA is not found on the gun. But Tory's team or his lawyers went with the DA. It's like, would you go with the cops test of your shit? Pause. Like the cops testing of the evidence, or would you bring your own person to go test the evidence? Tory's team went with the cops testing of the evidence. They're trying to make a case. Duh. So obviously they're not trying to, and all the experts they have, right? They know the cops want probably a positive result. It's like when they bring out a dog. You ever see when they bring out a dog to the fucking car? They know how to get that positive. Like, come on, just jump right there that we can search this motherfucking car. Yeah. The dog comes out, to give probable cause, not to fucking sniff around and nothing and just go back in the truck. No, kind of comes out. You kind of get this. It's a little bit biased. That's what I'm trying to say. So Tory should have got his own thing, which he later got in the appellate process. But here's the thing: they penalize him for that. They can't consider that Well, they can because they're calling it new info. But anything that Tory failed to do, as per negligence, right, of his team, the only way he would have to file a motion for retrial claiming he had ineffective counsel. So he has to then say, hey, I'm not muted, right? He has to say, I got fucked over because my lawyers were trash. They didn't do A, B, C, and D, and E, which, by the way, that's a part of what he's about to, well, it's one of the steps that he's tried to take, but he also included Sean Hawley. It was mostly at Sean Hawley because Sean Hawley handled the case up until I think a few weeks or whatever before trial. And by the way, Sean Hawley supposedly has a documentary that's named after every one of Jay-Z's, every episode is named after a Jay-Z song. Okay. You think, and she was defending Tory? Okay. Anyway, the ineffective counsel shit, he filed, or I don't know if it's a lawsuit or whatever, but he did file some documents, but he was aiming towards her. He got to aim it at his trial lawyer too, because that dude, and again, the court don't give you excuses like, oh, yeah, you fired your lawyer late, and then you started with this new lawyer late, so he didn't have time to do A, B, C, and D. You could have pushed the case back. I think that's what the lawyer that did the trial, I think that's was his excuse. Yeah, I took over the case late. I had to get up to speed. I was defending Tory. We didn't have time to go get our own analysis of the DNA, which fatal error. We didn't have a real chance to go find Jaquan Smith, which was the driver, who's the only sober person that night. Which, by the way, just common sense to me. How do three drunk people who all change up their story, at least two of them, their stories is changing left, right, and center. They were all supposedly blacked out. One was supposedly throwing up hours before. They were, I don't know if, I know she went to the hospital, Meg. I wonder what Meg's blood alcohol level was that night. Like, if her blood alcohol level, they say you can't drive over 0.08, right? Her shit probably was like 0.72. So now, if that person could even operate a vehicle, could we trust them 3 years later to now have an accurate depiction of what happened that night? How many times have y'all been lit and you call your homie and be like, nigga, I was lit last night. What happened? 2 years later, she got to come in court, and we're like, we believe her, even though her story doesn't change. The night of the scene, 2 interviews, or 1 interview with Gayle King, and also on live. Then she come to court, she got a new story again. Story done changed 5 times. 5 times. Damn near. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I hate to seem like I'm like the Tory defender, but I'm like, bruv, if we believe in the justice system and we think that for you to send somebody to jail, it should be it should be no fucking doubt. Everything we talking about here is saying this is pretty doubtful. I think that's fair. I just think that's fair. Now, this other part of Tory should have took the stand, I don't blame him for that at all. Number one, there was a legal thing, and it's going to happen with the Diddy case too. If Tory had taken the stand, a lot of other things come into play. So, for example, they could talk about his tattoos, his history with guns, his history of violence, and those things were barred in pretrial if he did not take the stand. So they believed, okay, based on all the doubt we presented, we're kind of doing good. We don't need Tory to take the stand. Obviously, I'm telling you the fatal errors now. We're playing Monday morning quarterback. They should have had the driver, the only sober person, testify because he showed up the last day. But Tory doesn't take the stand, right? Gets found guilty. Now, if he takes the stand, would his testimony be compelling enough to say no? I don't know. Because here's the thing. Tory, even up till now, ain't never say Kelsey shot the bitch. I tried to stop Kelsey from shooting her. And I'm not saying the B word to be disrespectful to Meg. So, yeah. Anyway, let me keep playing.
It was him. What do you do with that?
Well, I heard the whole story from Tory's mouth. He called me personally from prison, and I now understand why he said sorry, and it's not for any shooting at all. So I'll let him tell that story when he comes home, but the sorry was not for what people think it was for.
Amber, I got to invite you back on the show because we got screwed up with time, so we'll make it work for you whenever you want. Because I want to talk to you about Diddy and your experience there and what you think about what's happening with him and what people should know. But I don't want to choke you on time. But do you think that they're going to make the case against him or no?
I think it's just the beginning. I think right now they're just they're trying to paint a picture, but I think there's more to come.
All right. Well, I'd love to have you back. Thank you.
Okay, cool. By the way, thank you. He says, Tory should know he's a black man. The justice system is against black men. That man should be on the stand singing, but he's too arrogant, trying to do a documentary and please fans. Yeah, it was reported, and supposedly Tory was working on a documentary as he thought he was going to beat the case. There is a little bit of culpability on Tory's behalf. I think there was some arrogance. I think he thought, yo, ain't no way I'm going to jail off of this shit. You know that little porn star was saying Tory was planning a party. I can imagine he's thinking, yeah, I'm going to spank this. You get what I'm saying? Also, if the rumors are true that he was offered supposedly 4 years, he's probably thinking, yo, they know they ain't got a case. They're not trying to get embarrassed. So I'm going to take him to court, or I'm not going to take the plea because obviously he doesn't want to get deported. Remember, he's still a Canadian citizen. And he's like, yo, I'm going to beat the case, and he didn't beat the case. Now, when you say he should be on the stand singing, I agree. If I was him, nigga, the ironic part about it, Tory Lanez got a song called Say It. Nigga, I would have been on the stand saying everything. I would have been on the stand saying everything. I don't know what's up with Tory. But again, we come from different backgrounds, right? Someone said that's why you should be talking to Como, not Amber. What? Pause. So yeah. No, what I was saying about Chris Cuomo, like sometimes they don't know the facts of the case. They're just reading from a sheet. Okay. By the way, thank you guys. Somebody said Tory's in prison because of his lawyers. Yeah, well, and here's the thing though. We have already seen with Sean Hawley. She says, well, it ain't me. It's your fault. So the lawyers are going to do the finger pointing game. Yeah, we might have fucked up, but we gave you choices and you made your choices. So we did what you wanted us to do. Because I'm pretty sure, they had taken a recess when the Jaquan thing happened. And I would imagine Tory and his lawyer would have to speak and discuss, hey, Tory, I know it's about to be the holidays. We could get a verdict right before the holidays. But if we want to put Jaquan on the stand, it's going to go beyond the holidays. What do you want us to do? I would imagine, now they might give him a suggestion. Now I think we got this in the bag. We don't even need him. Or they might have been like, while we have him here, let's not open up some more can of worms or put start another fire we got to put out. Let's get to the verdict immediately. Who knows what they suggested to him? Who knows what he said to them and said, nah, fuck that. I'm overruling you because I'm paying you. We don't know. All I know is that I feel like if I was a damn attorney, given the facts that we know, given the inconsistencies in statements, given all of the change in the stories, the bullshit that we know in this case, if you're telling me all I got to do is get reasonable doubt up in that courtroom for the jurors to then find this man innocent, I just don't know how I feel like I could have done the job, much less an attorney who is trained to be a litigator and supposed to be a reputable criminal defense attorney, okay? I don't even think have we even heard from the guy since? Jord Mejdeshin. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Tory should have knew something was up. Nobody even noticed, nigga. He should have got Taco Pina. Oh, yeah. Oh, this guy's named an elite lawyer now, huh?
The Elite Lawyer Award recognizes the most outstanding and experienced attorneys in their fields. After considering the qualifications of attorneys to determine whether they meet our demanding criteria, Elite Lawyer acknowledges legal practitioners who have the
Nigga gets Tory sent to jail and gets called an elite lawyer.
Skills and experience needed to meet their clients' expectations and provide high-quality legal services. We are honored to present this attorney with the Elite Lawyer Award. By demonstrating legal proficiency, achieving recognition from their peers, and upholding the highest ethical standard.
Okay, all right. Did he ever do an interview about what happened with the Tory thing?
Anything good? No comment?
I don't know if he did an interview. Oh, here we go. He did he spoke a little bit. Here we go.
George Mdessian, Tory Lanez lawyer continues. I spoke with Tory's father. I have to have a transcript reader and according to Mdessian, the fact that the jury pondered for 2 days suggests there was something there. There was reasonable doubt.
Yeah, I don't think that guy ever did an interview. I don't think he ever did an interview. Interesting, because I think after he took that loss, I don't think nobody in hip hop is running to him for any type of I don't think anybody's running to him for any type of representation. But whatever. Okay, cool. All right, are we good? Are we good with that? I see there's some Rock Nation Desiree Perez shit. I'm gonna save that for now.
That's it, man. Got this thing spotless up in here. Got it looking nice and clean. Yes, sir. You know. So, yeah, I know. Let's see. Another day, man. This is my life story. 702, man. I go by money, man. I want to say, man, please like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe button, man. We almost at this 2K subscribers, so we will be doing that giveaway soon. But like I say, once we get to the 2K, don't forget, man, my first 3 members, man. The first member, even if it's only 1 member, that's $100. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it spicy. We're gonna give probably like a deadline on the giveaway. We're gonna give it a deadline once we reach the 2K, and we're gonna give it like a deadline I'll figure it out once when we get to the 2K. And once we get to the 2K subscribers, I'll figure out what are we gonna do with the giveaway. So what I'm gonna do is the deadline once when we get the 2K, and I'm gonna try to give it a little time first, and then I'm gonna put a deadline out for us to reach the 3 members. And if we don't reach the 3 members, my first member, whoever my first member, and if we reach the deadline, I'll just get that whole 300 to that one member. So, like I say, it's gonna be worth it at the end of the day. So, even if I don't get 3 members, even if I get 2 members, and we reach the deadline, I'll break the 300 down in between the two, within the 2 members. But if I get 3 members, like I said, y'all get $100 a piece. So let's get to it, man. Much love. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, go show love to the second channel as well, My Life Story 7022. Much love to everybody. I want to say, man, we growing slowly but surely, but I really do appreciate the love and the support. I really do. It mean a lot to me. So thank you. And also thank you for just taking this ride with me while I'm doing this job and I'm working and adding little different things to the channel. Like I say, man, I'm trying to get this card, man, pretty soon. Y'all gonna see. Watch. I told you I'm starting from nothing to something. Let's get it. My Life Story 702. We out. It's the dust collector right here. You know, it's like I think it's like 2 of these in the thing. It collect all the dust. And sometimes you gotta empty these out, and it, you know, it's a little dust collector. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is me. Yes, sir. I cleaned this. Oh, it look a little dirty right there. I can't scrape that out, but yeah, I did that. That's love. That's the trash right there. Going leads outside to a dumpster. And right here, it's like trash and everything. It separates it, and then it blows air, like it'll blow it like air thing that reads it. Shit like a mail or clothes. And it's like separates the white. Shit like that as well. These like emergencies right here, like little emergency things, shut down, this whole little area. Go crazy. These as well right here. These emergency lights, turn off the lights and shit. Just a power emergency. If anything ever happened, I just hit that button and and then in the computer it'll let them know. In the computer it'll let them know what area was shut down, what's going on. So you sit like a maze up in here, man. Yeah, this trash too, where trash goes. Like it separates it. The machine right here reads it. That's the office right there. I think we're just running cans right now. I mean plastic right now. I think we got plastic right now. See all that plastic up there? Like, we're running plastic right now. This is where our money at. You know, plastic, water bottles and shit. Like water bottles and shit like that. That's where our money at. Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, places like that, they invest. You know, and like I say, like you have to separate the white from the clear because when they break it down and put it through them, when it get cut up into little dust particles, the white can't be in there and mess up the whole thing. So yeah, man, it's like a maze, man. This shit crazy. Every time I look at this shit, good investment though. I'm gonna be honest. It's good.